Hey ladies, I thought I would start my video out this way. Me standing in front of my craft table. I have no makeup on. I'm sorry. I didn't get in until probably 2 a.m. this morning after picking up my daughter from the airport. She came in from Colorado for Christmas. I haven't seen her since Mother's Day, so it was really nice to see her. And boy, I look terrible. I should have put makeup on. Anyway, this is the tutorial for the Grinch wreath, and it was going to be a live class, but just kind of ran out of time. It's so close to Christmas, and I apologize for that. I just wanted to tell you guys that next year, next season, we're going to have all Christmas wreaths done by the first week of December. I did have some personal stuff going on. It kind of threw a wrench into my planning and my class schedule. And it's just one of those things that, when life kind of gets in the way sometimes. So, and also as far as the kits are concerned, I'm going to start taking orders for kits a lot sooner in the season. I guess I sort of didn't anticipate how popular they would be and how much work it would be. And trust me, I love doing it. It's like Christmas when I get all the supplies in the mail. And I can put your kits together, and I love picking out the ribbon and the mesh and signs and everything. And I know for a lot of you, it's difficult for you to get to the craft store, or you just kind of like to have the convenience of having a kit put together. But again, like I said, I'm going to start a lot earlier next season, probably August. And so we can get all the kits to you in time. For those of you that do want to purchase the kits are not required to make any of the wreaths that I do in my classes, but they are an option. I don't offer them for all the classes, but I try to offer them for most of them. But anyway, so I just want to show you what we're going to be making today. There was a kit for this. This is the Merry Grinchmas sign. This actually came from an Etsy shop called Diamond Dust Designs. Actually, I apologize, it's not Etsy. She has a website, diamonddustdesigns.com. Christmas signs. She's got signs for every season, and they all have this cute little bow at the top. You can get it without the bow if you want. A little hanger on there. You don't really need the hanger if you're putting it on a wreath, but her signs are great. They're awesome, very good quality, lightweight, easy to put in a wreath. Check out her website. And Mr. Grinch here, I could not find the Grinch that was in the wreath that I posted. I apologize. It was from the Jim Carrey movie, which I believe was 2000 it came out. And it was a limited edition doll. And unless you want to pay $30 for the doll, which I didn't want to do, I actually ordered this online. It came from overseas, and he's awful cute. So he's going to go in the wreath too. You put him over here for now. If you ordered the kit, you had the option to get it with or without the doll. But anyway, let me just switch my camera over so you don't have to see my non-makeup face anymore. And we'll get started making our wreath. And why isn't it connecting? Oh, there we go. Okay. And I'm using my new craft table again because it's just so much bigger. And I like having the extra room. Move my laptop over a little bit here. It's a nice sunny day here. It's warm here in upstate New York today. It's like 40 degrees, but then it's going to be going back down to the 30s for the weekend. So, okay, so this wreath is going to take 21-inch mesh. I've done this method before in classes. If you haven't seen it, this will be new to you, but it's probably going to end up being one of your favorite methods for 21-inch mesh because it's not a poof. You do cut your mesh into 10-inch pieces. Okay, this is a poof and a ruffle, kind of, more like a poof spiral. But I first learned this method from Trendy Tree. If you've heard of them before, they sell wreath supplies. And you only need one roll. You might find that you run 1 or 2 pieces short for the center. I didn't count my pieces because I do put 2 per tie, which would mean you'd need 36 pieces. I don't think you can get quite 36 pieces out of a 30-foot roll of 21-inch mesh, but that's okay, because when you get to the inside, it gets so full that you probably can just do 2 pieces in every other tie on the inside, and you'll still get really good coverage. This is sort of a thinner mesh, but still we're putting 2 pieces per pipe cleaner. There's 18 pipe cleaners, and I know you've seen me do this before. You do 10. This is a Dollar Tree frame, 14¼ inches. You can, if you buy a frame from anywhere else, I would just recommend not getting a frame any bigger than 16 inches. I do 10 ties on the outside. I wrap them tightly around the 2 outside bars. Now I use these fuzzy ones as opposed to the really thin Dollar Tree ones, the tinsely ones, for 2 reasons, because those tend to break and they slide. I like these fuzzy ones because once you put them on, they're not going to move. I used to do the whole hot glue thing, and it was just a big mess. So I wrap it around both bars and I pull it really tight so it's just not going to go anywhere. 8 on the inside. You can, I kind of eyeball it now, but in the beginning I used to measure. They're probably about 4 inches apart, and that's a perfect way to set up your wreath form. So this is super easy. There's 2 ways you can do this with your mesh. 21-inch by 10-inch piece of mesh. You can either fold it like this, okay, fold it down the long way, okay, and then fold it in half again, and then you're just going to pinch it in the middle. And what you end up having is a poof on one side, and I guess it's more like a spiral. They look more like spirals on the other side. Now you can fold it or you can roll it. Don't roll it too tight, okay? And then I think rolling it is better, because that way then you can have your seamed edge down. So the part that's cut is down. Then you fold it, or on the inside. You want that cut piece on the inside, so you're kind of hiding your cut edges there. And then you pinch it right in the middle. So you have a poof on one side and you have little spirals on the other. The first piece I'm going to lay down parallel to my wreath form on the outside. You could start on the outside or on the inside, but I always start on the outside. And I forgot to tell you, this is the mesh that I sent in the kits. So go ahead and now pull your poof out a little bit. Not too much, because you don't want to pull it so much that you're going to cause frays. The more you play with your mesh after you put it on your wreath form, the more chance you have frays. What I wanted to tell you about this mesh, if I could find where it went, I think I threw it over here for some strange reason. Why I would throw it over here? I thought this was a really cool looking mesh. It's like a 2-tone. It's a green mesh, but it's got red foil. And I thought it was really pretty. It's called a 2-tone mesh, metallic mesh. Okay. So, again, you can fold it or you can roll it, but I think I like the way it looks rolled better. So again, take it the long way and just roll it loosely, okay, with your cut piece down, or on the inside rather. Fold it in half and pinch it in the middle. And that is a great way to use 21-inch mesh. Now this next piece is up to you. I'm going to crisscross it across this first piece, so you can either have it with your poof on the inside and your spirals going out, or you could have it with the poof going out and the spirals going in, or you can alternate it. So this one you can do the poof on the outside, the next one you can do the spirals on the outside. It's entirely up to you. I think this one I'll do the spirals on the outside, and then I'll alternate. No rhyme or reason, no set pattern. And you're still going to have a lot of pipe cleaner on there to put your ribbon. Then you just kind of poof it out a little bit. And that's what each tie is going to look like. It's going to have a crisscross of 2 of these pieces of mesh. So let's do a few more. The table is very loud. Loosely roll it. Fold it in half. You can even do it right in your hand. inch, and done. Again, we've done this method many times. Now, I'm going to continue going in this same direction. So this first piece I laid down with the poof going this way, the spirals this way. I'm just going to continue doing it that way, just to make it uniform. You don't want to lay it right on top of your previous piece. So what you're going to do is after you tie it in, you're just going to make sure that it's not squishing the piece before it. And poof that out a little bit. You can see as you're going along, it doesn't take very long at all. Now this piece I laid down here, crisscrossing, I did the spirals going out. I think I'm going to keep it that way. I don't think I really want to alternate them. I kind of want to keep it. So I'm going to do this one crossed over with the spiral edge going out again. I'm just going to keep it that same. And you can kind of fix it a little bit before you lay it down to make sure you don't have too much on one side. You want it kind of even on both sides. Just try not to tug on it too much after you put it in. You can tug on your pipe cleaner, because these I love these pipe cleaners. I get them from Hobby Lobby. I can pull on them really tight and they don't break. Not like the Dollar Tree ones. The Dollar Tree ones will break. And that's it. We're just going to keep going around the whole outside with 2 of these per tie. I'll do this one more, and then I'm going to pause it so I can finish. Again, this first piece is going to go parallel to the wreath form. Give it a couple of strong twists. Don't be afraid to pull it tight. You don't want your mesh to come out on you. You get these pieces that come off of the cut end or the seamed end, don't worry about it. That just happens sometimes. I want this cut piece to be on the inside. And that kind of helps to hide the cut end too. I do use the wood burning tool to cut my mesh. If you haven't used it yet, I do have a video on the group page. If you look in the video section, I think I filmed it about a year ago on how to use the wood burning tool. You do have to have a piece of glass. I have an old storm window that I found in my basement. If you live in the north, you guys know what a storm window is. You can use a glass cutting board. I would get a clear one because that way you can put your cutting mat under the glass, and that way you can see, you can measure as you're cutting. So like I said, when I have my window or my storm window, I put the cutting mat under it. I can see through it as I'm cutting. You can see that in the video as I do that. So I've got 3 pieces on here right now. I'm going to pause it and I'm going to finish doing the outside, and then I'll move to the inside, and I'll be right back. See you in a minute. Hey guys, okay, I'm back. So this is how it looks so far with just the outside. The outside tie is done. Outside 10, we have 2 pieces of 21-inch mesh per tie. And I just crisscrossed them. And now we're going to start on the inside. It does give you very good coverage of your wreath form. You're going to find that it's probably the most economical way to make a wreath because you only need 1 roll of mesh. So if you use a wide foil mesh, that's going to even give you better coverage. When I say wide foil, I'm referring to something like this. Look how thick this is. And the metallic is very, very wide. It's a premium mesh. It's probably going to run you about $13 a roll. It's a little bit more expensive as compared to maybe $5 or $6 for the 21-inch regular metallic mesh. But let me hold up another piece when I get done attaching this, and you can see the difference. So again, I'm just going to go parallel to the wreath form. on the inside, just like I did on the outside. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip every other pipe cleaner. I'm going to do one in one tie and then two in the next, just to make sure I have enough. I wouldn't do 2 entire rolls of mesh because that's just going to be too much. So this is what I mean by, this is a little bit, obviously, it's a little bit more sheer. There is metallic in it, but it's very thin. And again, this is a premium wide foil, and you can see how wide the metallic strips are. That gives you very good coverage of your wreath form. So again, like I said, I may have enough to do 2 per tie on the inside. I didn't count as I was cutting them. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to skip. So I did 1 in one tie on the inside. Now I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to do 2 in this one. And if I have any left over, I'll just go ahead and I'll just add them. Ideally, you should be able to get 36 pieces of mesh, which is what you would need to do 2 per tie. But again, that's in a perfect world. You know, you're going to have a little bit of waste. You're going to cut off that raw edge when you first start cutting your mesh because you don't want a crooked piece. That's going to give you a little bit of waste. And then as you're cutting, you know, no one, you know, you're not always going to get a perfect 10-inch piece of mesh. I mean, you're going to try, but you have to allow for waste. So this one I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 2. But like I said, you're going to see as you get in the middle, because it's smaller in the middle, it's going to be a lot more full. And you probably won't need 2 per tie. So I put 2 in that one. Now this next one, I'm going to go ahead and just put 1. And if I do have some left over, then that's a bonus. And I can just throw them in where I feel like it. The inside of your wreath is always more full because it's obviously a smaller circle. It's, you know, it's not rocket science to be able to see that. You only have 8 pipe cleaners on the inside, so this piece is really kind of puffy. And you're going to have your sign in the middle, and I have my Grinch doll, so that's going to fill in the center too. And you're also going to have ribbon. So that one I had 1, and I'm going to put 2 in this next one. I'm not quite sure how many I have left. I may very well have enough to put 2 per tie. Let's just wait and see how it goes. I really like this mesh. I like the fact that it's kind of like a blended green and red. Because you got to have green for the Grinch, but you got to have red for Christmas too, even though green is a Christmas color. You can see how easy it's so quick to make these little pieces. All right, so how many did I do? And I always forget where I am. I did 2 for that one. Where am I now? 1 for that one. So now I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to do, oh no, wait a minute, I did 1 for that one. Now I'm going to do 2 for this one. And don't be afraid to pull that pipe cleaner nice and tight. Make sure your piece is even as you're laying it down. Mine wasn't even. I had too much poof on one side, and whoops, not enough spiral on the other. It's kind of helping me out that my daughter's home now watching my doggy while I do this. She gets a little restless sometimes, and so that one had 2, so I'm going to do 1 in the next one. I think I have quite a bit left, though. I think I may very well end up being able to put 2 per pipe cleaner. And you can poof out that poof when you get it on there. Don't try to do it in your hand. Just a couple of twists. You don't need to do 4 or 5 twists. Just 2 really tight twists, just so it stays. It isn't going to pop out on you. Because that stinks when it does that. When you're putting your ribbon on and all of a sudden your piece of mesh pops out. I think I'm going to have enough to do 2. I'm going to go ahead and just put 2 in every one. This worked out, so I'll have enough. Where am I here? That's got to go this way. It's kind of turning sideways. It gets a little tight in the middle here. It's easy to forget where you left off, but just try to find your pipe cleaner. Find that pipe cleaner and you'll be good. And I hate when these pieces of metallic come out. I always pull them out. This piece wants to stick up, so I'm just going to tuck it down. Where am I? I'm going to put 2 in that one. Even though I've got quite a bit left here, I'm going to be able to put 2 in each one. Even though I just said that about 4 or 5 times. The nice thing about deco mesh is that it likes to stick to itself. So it helps you when you're trying to fill in little holes or gaps. You just kind of push it in and it sticks to itself. So it helps to fill in that base, that wreath base for you. You can even leave it like that. It's like a little curly. But what a great, inexpensive way to make a wreath base with just 1 roll of 21-inch mesh. And it's not a poof. Which, if you're like me, I'm not a real huge fan of the poof. My poofs just don't ever come out the same size, and I get frustrated. I think I have 1 more tie on the inside here, and then I'm going to go back in those ones that only have 1, and I think I'm definitely going to have enough to put another one in there. So you can see as you get to the center, the curls, they're really curly. The pieces of mesh are curlier. Hold on 1 second for me. I gotta pause it for 1 second. Okay, guys, I'm back. So it ended up being I had enough to put 2 pieces of mesh in every tie except for 1 in the middle. I just went back and I looked. But honestly, you can see how full it is in the middle. You cannot even tell. You can't even tell that there's one that only has 1 piece of mesh in the middle. And again, like I said, because the center hole is smaller, and it's going to be a lot fuller. And I like to try to just push my pieces of mesh up so it's puffier in the middle. But what a pretty base that is. You can go and you can kind of adjust a little bit if you feel like this down here, this one curl is a little bit longer on one side. So I'm just going to go in and adjust it because it's bothering me, because stuff like that bothers me. So go through and just make sure that there's no gaps. Just kind of We're going to be putting ribbon in too, so you can see how there's some pieces of mesh that are kind of sticking out a little bit. But once we put the ribbon in, that'll even it all out. But isn't that a pretty base? One roll of mesh, you guys. That's it. All right. So actually, before I put my ribbon in, I want to put my sign and my Grinch. I have to kind of figure out where I want to put them. Typically, I put my sign in the middle. But this is a pretty big doll. What I might do is set him in the middle, just like let him sit right in the middle, and then maybe put the sign. There's his little hat. Maybe I'll put the sign off to the side, but this sign's pretty big. I could do the sign in the middle and then have him kind of hanging out on the side or up here and putting his arm around the sign. That might be kind of cute. I have to tuck his little butt in. I think I might do that. Let me see. Put his little arm up, maybe. No, that looks kind of weird. I might just put the sign in the middle and then have him kind of hanging out on the side here. Kind of like that. I think I like that. Or maybe the sign down on the left and him kind of up on the side. This is when you kind of have to. Yeah, I kind of like that actually. I kind of like the sign down a little bit farther off to the left, and then I'm going to put him up on the right a little bit because he's a big boy. He's a big doll, but he's light, so he's going to be easy to attach. And then I'll put the sign kind of down here, and I can put his little hand on it like that, like he's kind of holding the sign. And try to lift it up so you guys can see it out. I think that'll be cute, just like that. Just like that. I like that. All right. So let me get my sign on first. I'm going to use my handy dandy cable tie mounts that you can get online. You can get them by the cable ties at Walmart, any home improvement store. They have little holes. I show you guys this every video. A little hole in the middle. It's a square. It's got a self-adhesive back. The sign is light. You're only going to need 2 if you want a little extra holding power. Put some super glue on there as well. Let me find my pipe cleaners. Stick it right through. Just a couple of twists. Any pipe cleaners that you're covering with your sign or your mesh, you can clip them off. Or you can just kind of tuck them around to the back. Just make sure that you have it twisted enough before you cut them off. So you don't lose your mesh. Don't clip any of the ones off on the outside because we're going to put ribbon in every single one of those ties. I don't typically put ribbon in every tie on the inside for this very reason. This one's going to have to come off too. So kind of see which ones you're going to be covering, and then you can snip them off. You don't have to snip them off, but you don't need them. All right, so lay your sign down. Just go ahead and feed that pipe cleaner right through to your wreath form. Through all this mesh. This is probably the most, I don't want to say it's difficult, can be challenging hanging your sign in your centerpiece, because you want it to be tight enough where it's not going to fall off, but you don't want it to be so tight that you're going to squish your mesh. And don't tighten it too tight just yet until you're sure that you have the sign positioned where you want it. I've done that many times. I've really tightened it in, and then I have to undo it because I don't like where my sign is. And I'm pretty happy with that. So it's kind of down to the left, which is a little out of the box for me. I'm definitely a in the middle type sign person, but because we have Mr. Grinch, we have to put in here. So if you got the kit and you didn't get the Grinch, or if you just want to use a sign, you can still put your sign down to the side. You don't have to have it in the middle. There's no set rule in wreath making that your sign or centerpiece has to go in the middle. Now, why is this one so much tighter than this one? Because it's on this side, that's why. I'm tightening up the other side, but not this side. Now we can tighten it because you're happy with your placement, but don't, again, tighten it so much that you're squishing your mesh. There. So that's where that's going to go. I'm trying to hold it so right down there, and then we're going to put him, going to kind of wedge his butt in this poof here. I kind of want his hand to go up around the sign, just like that, and his little fuzzy feet. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get some floral wire. I'm not going to wrap it around his body because I don't want to be able to see it. What I think I'm going to do instead is, because he's made of cloth, I'm just going to cut a couple little small holes in the back, and I hate to cut him. And I'm going to feed the wire right through his little body here. I'm so sorry I'm cutting you. Just make 2 little holes. And this is going to be kind of challenging, but I think I can do it. And just feed the wire in one hole and out the other one. So you're grabbing a hold of some of the fabric here. Of course, I said it wasn't going to be as easy as I thought. There we go. That's all I did. Just cut a little bit of a couple little holes in the back of him here. I'm just going to twist it. You could even use like sewing thread if you want, because he's not heavy, so it's not going to take a lot to hold him in place. But like I said, I kind of want to wedge his little butt in here. And I'm going to feed this wire right through the wreath form. Make sure he's positioned the way you want him to before you tighten him down. I want his little hand to kind of go up here like that. All right, try to hold him in place when you flip it over. Find your wire wherever the heck it went, and just wrap it around. I doubled my wires, so I've got 2 wires together here that I'm wrapping around. And once you make sure that it's on there, he's on there securely, you can cut off your extra. Oh, there we go. I love it when stuff works out the first time. I might even have to put a little bit of hot glue under his arm because I want his arm to kind of be like up on top of the sign like that. Is that cute or what? Because of this big poof here, his leg is kind of flopping around, but once we hang him up, he'll be fine. Right now, I'm just kind of tucking his little thumb under there, but that looks cute. I'm happy with that. So now, I'll cut off that extra wire after. I'm going to go ahead and add some ribbon. If you got the kit, this is the ribbon that you would have gotten in the kit. You can use whatever ribbon that you like. If you did not get the kit, but I like to choose some like semi-whimsical looking ribbon. This isn't that whimsical, but I like the polka dots because there's polka dots on this little ribbon that came on the sign. And this is a 2.5 inch. These are cut at 12 inches. Okay. Craft outlet, that's where I get all my ribbon. This is a 2.5 inch, pretty swirly, also from Craft Outlet. 12 inch strips. This is a 1.5 inch, because I usually like to use two 2.5 and two 1.5 to pair together. Also from Craft Outlet. 12 inch pieces, 9 strips of each type of ribbon, cut at 12 inches and dovetailed, which means you're just gonna do that little cut on the end. I also cut some extra pieces at 13 of the 1.5. I do not dovetail those. Those are straight for our little bow ties. And then I also have this pretty sparkly 1.5. Same thing, 9 12-inch pieces, dovetailed, and then some extra, I don't know how many, not dovetailed. Now, not going to be able to put ribbon in every tie because we've got all this stuff going on in the middle, meaning Mr. Grinch and the sign. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this tie or not. It's under his arm. I guess I can probably put some ribbon there, but I don't think it's going to show. It's going to be covered because his arm is there. I'm just going to tuck that ribbon, that pipe cleaner down underneath for now. Because if I put ribbon there, his arm's going to be covering it, so you're not going to be able to see it. But I do like to put ribbon in every tie on the outside, which is where we're going to start. You just kind of have to decide what ribbon you want to go with what. And I never really know until I get going with it. Because you're going to pair the 1.5 with the 2.5. No, I kind of like this. I like the sparkly because these are both sparkly. Lay it right on top, fold it in half to find your center, pinch. And there you have your ready to go bundle. And another reason why I laid the spirals going out when I crossed it is because my ribbon's going to lay better on top of the spirals than it would the poof. Because when I put my ribbon in, I like to have it all going out like that. So they're all fanning out this way. And what that does, not only does it look pretty, but it helps to shape your wreath too. So if you have some poofs that are kind of lopsided, or this is sticking out a little farther, whatever, having your ribbon all going around the outside like this helps to shape your wreath too. Just like that. They're going to go all the way around. So then I usually take my 13-inch piece of the 1.5 that I used, fold it over so these ends are overlapping. I know you guys have probably seen this before, and pinch it in the middle. And you have your little bow tie. It can go right on top of your ribbon. You're going to have enough pipe cleaner for that. So you can either cut off a little bit of extra pipe cleaner that you have, a little bit here, or you can just kind of twist it around behind. which is easy to do too. And if you have red pipe cleaners, or if you have pipe cleaners that are the same color as your ribbon and your wreath, having that little bit showing in the middle isn't going to matter because it kind of all blends in together. Got some color matching going on here. And then that's that. I like to try to curl my ribbon under a little bit so it kind of frames the wreath. But look how pretty, I just love this ribbon. This ribbon here really shapes well because it's thick. Always use wire ribbon, ladies. But there's your first ribbon bundle. That's it. And then we're going to alternate. I'm going to go to the polka dot, and I'm going to use the swirly. Same way. Hear my daughter taking my doggie out. Boy, it's so nice to have her home and helping me during the day with the dog. Go to the next tie. Again, I'm going to put ribbon in every tie on the outside, not necessarily the inside, because again, we've got the sign and the Grinch going on. That pipe cleaner sticking out up here. If your ribbon overlaps a little bit, like in the next bundle, it's, you know, not a big deal. You can kind of, this is a little bit longer on this side, so you can kind of pull it a little. And that is it, ladies. That is how you put ribbon on a wreath. If you've never seen me do it before, a lot of wreath makers do 3 ribbons per tie. I think that's kind of overdoing it. If you've seen anybody else do lives, a lot of wreath makers also cut their ribbon at 14 inches. I used to do that, but then I felt that it just covered up too much of everything. It was just looked like all it was ribbon on my wreath. And I didn't, you know, I wanted everything to be able to show, not just my ribbon. So there's our next bundle. Don't go crazy trying to form it and shape it. You know, sometimes you just kind of need to know when to lift up your hands and walk away. Kind of like if you ever see that show Chopped on the Food Network. Take your hands off. When the timer is up, take your hands away. Sometimes you got to kind of know when to take your hands away. There's still wreaths that are hanging in my house that I walk by and I am fixing this and adjusting that, and maybe I'll add something else to it. You can make yourself crazy doing that, though, honestly. The wreath will never be done. This one looks like it's a little bit longer on that side than it is on this side, so that's the only thing that I have a problem with. I like things to be even and uniform. And my bow was a little bit bigger on one side than the other, so let's just fix that. This is why you got to make sure it's folded over enough before you put it in your ribbon. Just like that. And that one's done. Okay. Now I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go around alternating this ribbon set with this ribbon set all the way around the outside. And I'll be back. If I can hit the pause button. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, let me turn him around here. Now you can see what I mean by how adding ribbon all the way around the outside, lift my camera up a little bit, just helps to round out. I crossed his little legs. I'm going to glue them because I like the way he look crossed. You can see how it helps to round out your wreath. So if you have any pieces of mesh they're kind of sticking out a little bit, or maybe a little bit longer, or your poof isn't as big as the other one, or whatever, just putting that layer of ribbon around the outside really just helps to round out the wreath. And I just absolutely I love these ribbon choices. I'm very happy with how this is coming out so far, and I like having my sign down like this. Even if you don't have a Grinch, I'm just gonna, I feel like I need to tighten this sign a little bit up on this side, just a little. I don't really want to squish my ribbon, but I feel like it needs to be tightened a little bit on that side. This is why it's good not to tighten it too much until you're sure. And I think I just want it to be a little bit tighter on this side. It's kind of sticking up a little bit for me. I'll fix that later. I want to cross his little legs. I just plugged my glue gun in. I think I like the way his legs are crossed. Was it this side I wanted to tighten or that side? I think I tightened the wrong side. We're going to cross his little legs. I think that's the side I wanted to tighten. All right, hold on. Do it before you hang it on your wall. There's nothing worse than, or your door, there's nothing worse than thinking you have your sign all perfect, and then you go to hang it up and it slides down and you just want to scream, which is another reason why I do not like to use heavy signs. I'm going to clip off this wire here too. This extra wire from putting my dowel on here. Just going to wind it around one more time. Just to make sure that it's tight. Although I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He's very light. But again, if you're going to be selling this wreath, you want to make sure everything is really attached. You don't want anything falling off when your customer hangs it. It's not so bad if something falls off if it's on your own door. You know, you can say, oops, and fix it, but you don't want it falling off on your customer's door. So I'm going to actually just take a little bit of glue, and I'm going to cross his legs. I really don't want to glue him, but I want his legs to be crossed, and this will just kind of help it them to stay. You can even see what I'm doing. I just put a little bit of hot glue under his legs. I think I like the way his legs are. His legs crossed like that. Just like that. Okay. So now, I don't think I really need to glue his hand because his hand can kind of just rest up there. Maybe I'll put a little bit, tiny bit, just under the corner of his hand, just so it can rest on top of the sign. I don't like to do a lot of glue and have a big goopy mess. I'm way over here so you can't see what I'm doing. I didn't realize I went out of earshot or eye shot of the camera. I just put a little tiny bit of glue under his hand to attach it to the sign because I kind of want his hand on the sign. There. All right. Now, I'm not going to be able to put ribbon in every tie in the top because there's already a lot of ribbon. Or excuse me, there's the sign and there's the sign and the mesh. All right, now there's a tie right here on top of this sign. I don't know if I really want to put ribbon there because there's ribbon on the sign. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to throw an ornament in there. I do have some embellishments, but I don't really want to put what I have right there. I think I'm going to use one of these ornaments. These are so cute. I love these little swirlies. I'm just going to kind of stick it right here on top of the ribbon bundle on the sign. Actually, I can take this pipe cleaner and just feed it right through. See how you can feed the pipe cleaner right through the hole on your ornament? And then you don't have to use any glue. I think I'm going to put both pipe cleaners right through because they'll fit. And just kind of twist it around. And that's going to hold your ornament in place. I don't really like to use, oh, and it actually just pulled it pulled the top right off of my my ornament. Let me just stick that back in there. I don't really like to use hot glue on the ornaments because I feel like it's not going to really hold them. That looks super cute there. I like that. That ornament right in that spot there. I might even put some more of those in. But let's put some ribbon in because there are a couple pipe cleaners left here on the top that I can put some ribbon in. That aren't covered by the sign. You know what, I don't want to use that there because that's right there. Although you really can't see it. I have a problem with having the same type of ribbon right next to each other. I have an issue with that. I'm going to put some right here. And this is where you can kind of spread your ribbon out because it's on the inside of your wreath. So you can kind of you got to kind of be careful when you're putting it on the inside because if you put it down too far, you're going to lose your ribbon. So just, yeah. That'll work right there. Actually, that works better because I wouldn't have wanted to put the polka dot ribbon right next to the polka dot on the ribbon on the sign. We'll do another bow tie. This I think I'm going to clip off. I don't really want to twist that little piece around. I'm going to cut that right off. Make sure you have it turned enough before you cut it off. Or you're going to lose your bow tie. That looks nice right there. But at the top, can't really see what I'm doing here. All right, let's see where else I want to put some ribbon. I think I may have to put an embellishment or another ornament here because I don't have a pipe cleaner to put any ribbon on. I think that's really the only visible pipe cleaner that I have that isn't covered by something. There's one up here, so let me put another bundle up here. There's one behind the Grinch, but we're not going to be able to use him. I call it him. I'm giving my pipe cleaners genders. They're gender specific. I'm going to put another bundle up here, and that's really the only other pipe cleaner that I have available to put ribbon on. Everything else is covered, so we're just going to have to maybe stick some ornaments in. I'm going to use this pipe cleaner because it's here. I don't think I'm going to put a bow tie in there because it's not going to show. Meaning, I kind of had to put the ribbon kind of down in there. And if I put a bow tie in there, you're not going to be able to see it. It's just going to be sticking out a little bit. Maybe I'll put another ornament in there in the middle. If I put a bow tie in there, you're not going to really be able to see it. So I'm going to grab an ornament. This one I'm going to go ahead and glue. I'll hold it for a minute. And I think I'm going to put one down here. I didn't send these ornaments in the kit, but you know, again, I have so many ornaments that I've collected. I'm going to put one down here. And then I do have some other embellishments that I did put in with the kit. If you feel like you don't want to glue your ornaments, just get a pipe cleaner and thread it through the ornament holder and go down into your wreath form and tie it to your wreath form instead of having to glue it. That's another good way to put ornaments on a wreath. So again, take your pipe cleaner, just like I did here, wrap it around or put it right through the little hole and go down inside your wreath form and attach it that way. That's another good way to attach ornaments. Okay. I do have some other embellishments and I have extra ribbon here. You can always use that for something else. Let's see. I put these in with the kit. I ended up with an extra bag of ribbon. I don't know how that happened. Everybody got one of these. These are from Hobby Lobby. Got some of these red and green. And I actually didn't buy enough of the other stuff for my wreath. So I'm going to use one of these, I think. This definitely says Grinch. Look how whimsical that is. And this also came from Hobby Lobby. This big pick. This did not go in the kit. It was kind of expensive. I really couldn't put one of these in every kit and keep the cost down. So I just kind of grabbed this for my wreath. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So I think I'm going to kind of stick this up here in the corner. So kind of figure out where you want it. I mean, if you have one of these, not everybody's going to have one. And then you can glue it in after. But just to kind of give the wreath a little bit of height. Just going to put it right there. For now, it's just going to sit there. Maybe I'll glue it in after if I decide that I like it there. But that looks kind of cute sticking up there. That definitely says Grinch. Sticking up like that. And let's see. You don't even have to use the sticks if you don't want to, but they'll definitely help you to glue in place. I could just take this itself and just glue it in place, but since you do have the stick, sometimes the stick can be a little bit annoying though. You try to feed it in and it ends up getting stuck. I'll put that in the corner like that. I could even just kind of glue that in place. I don't even need to use the stick. I think I'm going to do that. Sometimes, actually, this isn't going to even let me cut it. I'm going to have to glue it in with the stick. Just put a little bit of glue on the stick itself and kind of feed it in there. And it'll stick, hopefully. I just love hot glue. I'm going to put a little bit underneath, I think. I got to go off over here for a minute so my glue gun reaches. Just be careful when you're gluing stuff to mesh and you're trying to hold it in place, then you end up burning yourself. Believe it or not, hot glue doesn't like to stick to mesh as easily as you would think it does. I just burned myself there. Gotta hold it a little bit. I think that'll be okay there. I can always add some extra after. So I have that over there. That looks cute there. And I'm going to have a couple of these. That is so dang cute, I have to say. I'm happy with how this came out. All right, let me look and see where I want to put this little guy here. Like I said, play with it first, you know, stick your embellishments in before you glue them. Make sure that you like where they are, and then go in and glue. So I'm going to put this one sticking off over here to the side like that. And I do have one more. I may put, I may not. You don't want to overdo it with embellishments. You don't want to go too crazy, but this is a whimsical wreath. This is a fun wreath. I should have gotten some more of these. These are really super cute. Maybe I'll just put this in over here somewhere. That's going to have to be glued. That's not going to stay by itself. I can just tell. Well, maybe it will for now. You can kind of spread it out a little bit. I know everybody got one of these. Somebody, I think you guys in the kits, you got the red swirlies. I didn't have enough of the red swirlies to give myself some, so I always manage to do that when I do kits. I don't get enough for myself. And you know, I actually am thinking about something now. I'm looking at these little pom-poms on here. These little fuzzy pom-poms. They had these at the Dollar Tree. Where's my bag? They had these little fuzzy pom-poms at the Dollar Tree. I mean, they're like loose, but you can like maybe get a bunch and glue them to a pipe cleaner. And you can make your own little pick. They're $1. They're exactly the same as the ones that are on there. All right, let me see if I want to put anything else on here. I think I'm done though. I don't like the way this is. I kind of want it to be on top of the mesh, not underneath it. Yeah, like that. That's how I want it. Trying to think if I want to put another ornament somewhere. I think I'm good. I've got 3. I've got 3 ornaments. I think I'm done, ladies. I'm going to lift my hands up, unless maybe I put an ornament here, but that might be overdoing it because he's sitting here. And his feet are here, so I don't know. Like I said, sometimes you kind of not got to know when to walk away and say, all right, I'm done. You're done. Yeah, I'm going to put one there. Glue. This one I probably should feed through the wreath form because I feel like it's going to, glue's not going to stay. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Take your pipe cleaner, put it through, twist it around a little couple of times so it's not going to go anywhere. And then just take your pipe cleaner and feed it right through the mesh, which may be a little bit challenging, but get your hand underneath there so you can feel for it coming through. And then you don't have to worry about the glue. And you can pull it as tight as you want. Reach underneath. I don't want to tip everything over because I've got some stuff that's not glued here. And just wrap it around your wreath form. And then you don't have to worry about messing with glue to attach your ornaments. And it's not going to go anywhere. See that? It's on there. Let me pull it on a little bit tighter. Hold on. I had to move the Rose class tonight, ladies, because, as you know, my daughter's home for the holidays. Haven't seen her since Mother's Day. She was not home for her birthday. Her birthday was November 27th. And we're going to take her out to dinner for her birthday. So we're not going to be home tonight. But anyway, I am very happy with how this came out. Is that the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life, or what? Tell me that's not cute. I feel like his little legs are being displaced because of the ornament, but it's in there. I may or may not keep this here. I'm not sure yet. But I kind of like it. And that's it, ladies. I'm done. I'm going to get this uploaded to YouTube so I can send it all to you. I'm going to take a picture so you can see how cute it is. And I'm calling it a day. Bye, guys. Merry Grinchmas. Bye-bye.